Hi there, traders. This is Brad Goodwin with the FX Market Inside for Thursday, the 29th of August. All right, now let's just work out what the next 24 hours has got in store for us. Just coming into the start of the Asian session now, it's a good time to redo your charts after that North American session is shut. Now, just looking at the major currency pairs here, there's basically no change in the overall analysis. If anything, sterling has gone from being up on the hourlies to basically back sideways. Boris Johnson, the UK PM, suspends Parliament, so pretty much gives lawmakers a very slim chance of doing a deal before the Brexit date, which is a good thing. Now, that saw sterling tumble about 150 points, but it's stabilised, it's back. I think this is going to be a good result for traders, but also for the UK. Today's market conditions, normal liquidity, but still a wait-and-see markets. As you can see here, across the broad analysis, there's no real connection with a lot of the analysis, right? These things are just grinding sideways. But there is one shining light, and that is, it's very rare that it is, it's the Kiwi. Okay, the Kiwi moving lower on all time frames, the RBNZ cautious as well. And you know what? We've also got the NBNZ business outlook numbers now. This business outlook number, going back over the years, has been like insignificant. But the last year, it has been a major gauge of like business sentiment. And we've seen it sort of fall off the map and sterling Kiwi drop a couple hundred points. So now it is a bit of a major focus. And with the current setup, no other currency pair has got the setup that Kiwi has. It does look really good for an opportunity to get short Kiwi, I think, if these business numbers are particularly weak. Now, if the business numbers are strong, well, we might see a short spike. It's not going to go far, but there may be a little bit of cash in that as well. Now, if I just give you a bit of a look at the Kiwi chart, since it is the major sort of focus to me for the day, look at this Kiwi trend line. It's pretty wicked, right? It's had obviously periods where it's gone a little bit skew-if, RBNZ saying all sorts of problems are coming, and now it's sort of just grinding sideways. We've got a nice entry level here around 63, sort of 70, 65, 70. As I said, weak business outlook numbers puts pressure on the RBNZ to cut rates again, and we could see it shoot to the downside. Now, if we get huge numbers, huge positive numbers, well, we've got an entry level here to potentially get into a trade on the top side. But, you know, I'm going with the trend. The trend is your friend, and down to me is where the Kiwi is going. Just having a look at the other currency pairs here. I'll just blow that back up. So the rest of the pairs here are pretty much trading sideways, okay? I know Euro's got a little bit of a drift on, but that's not much is going on there. This is where Boris suspended Parliament. So sterling, I think now, it's 5 weeks. We may see some normal trading activity. I think it should just grind sideways, but we're going to see potential opportunities. There'll be less geopolitical noise, I hope, now that Parliament has been suspended. So sterling may come into play. We'll have to wait and see. And I've got to say, like, dollar CAD continues to bash away in this big range. It's hard to be confident to get short of these levels or long down the bottom. But you know what? It's moving around. Oil back at $55. To me, it's a little bit tricky, but you might see it otherwise. Maybe some of the crosses, CAD yen in particular, has been giving traders a lot of cash. Just a quick look at the news to see what the markets are focusing on and talking about. Funnily enough, here's the latest US tariff hike. That's kicking into place, and that's got a lot of US retailers. This could impact the retail market in the US coming into the holiday season. As footwear, toys, technology companies are all letting their clients know there's possible price hikes. And you know what? I think it's probably a good thing. I mean, if you're buying all the cheap rubbish, what do you expect? So this is part of where Trump's going to wear a little bit of heat as the US citizens start paying a bit more for their goods. But that's the price of doing business with China. Now, the other key news, obviously, pound falls as UK Parliament suspends Parliament. No Brexit deal sort of on the cards. But you know what? It went from 122 sort of 90 down to 121.50 back up to 122.50 and is now at 122.20. To me, that sterling has weathered the storm there, and to me, it's set up, I think, for a higher sterling. And that's pretty much it. There's not much else on the news-wise that you need to be paying attention to. So when you come down to today's market, like today, Thursday, we're starting to get into the business end of the trade week. And this is where we start to see a lot more of the thicker data. As I mentioned, the NBNZ business outlook numbers out in a couple of hours. That's going to be a key number here for Kiwi, especially with that downward trend it's got going. It looks really good. We've got some CapEx numbers out of Australia. Now, the Aussie's just trading sideways, so don't know if that's going to really impact. It needs to be significantly variant. Then we come into the prelim GDP numbers for the US. That's going to be a good thing to try and get some sort of direction on the dollar would be nice. And then you come down through Friday. We've got the rest of the numbers there. Building approvals, a bit of a peripheral number for the Aussie, Eurozone flash estimate CPI, and then Canadian GDP and the US PCE price index. So a little bit of data today, a little bit tomorrow. I'm focusing on the Kiwi. It's loose, it's illiquid, but it could just be the one trade that gives us the cash for this week. All right, guys, have a good trade day. Cheerio.